happening, gang? Alright, yeah, we're out in the shop. Got a battery. I'm not going to throw it in yet because engine has to come out. It doesn't have to, but I want the engine out so that I've got plenty of room to get down here and do the welding on the inside and outside for my little plates. And I spent the last 40 minutes looking for the other plate. Couldn't find it, couldn't find it, couldn't find it, couldn't find it. Looked and looked and looked. And then as I walked up to the tractor with camera in hand, I saw this. There's the other one. So hang on, let me grab it. No, you guys aren't laying down on the job. Just the camera is, so there's the other one. I'm going to take the engine out today and get everything prepped for those. Whether we'll get it get those two welded in or not, I'm not sure. But in addition to those two pieces, after I get those welded in good and secure, I'll grind the inside welds, or I will grind the outside welds, and I'm going to reinforce it further with a couple of strips of this 3/16 steel. I'll just whack off a couple of strips just to help make that frame a little more rigid on the front. Then it'll be engine back in. I have to cut down the shoulder on the pulley so that I can mount that pulley on the 1.1/8 crankshaft. Sorry, you guys aren't looking where I'm pointing. Hey, I'm over here. Right there. It's been so long since I've been out in the shop, I forgot everything that was going on besides this. And little things have just been trickling in. I'd get a call from Dave to go on a quick pick or something like that and run out with him, or he would just run out and do the pick and come back. And some stuff made its way here, some stuff made its way there. I had a Wheel Horse GT14 here. You guys are going to see me in all my bearded glory. It's getting nice and long. Anyway, hang on. And yes, I know the cigarette just showed up in the camera view, and I'm fine with that. Anyway, let's get down here. Let's take a look at this stuff. Other things been going on, just little things, nothing major. I'll cover one other thing here in a minute. And I've also been coming out to source parts for people, and I've shipped quite a few people some parts out. One gentleman who sent me this packet right here, which has, okay, you can see that side, that's fine. You can't see the other side. Hernando had mentioned these on my videos, and that sweetheart of a man went to his local Asian market and picked me up these red gold ginseng patches. I believe there's 10 patches in each pack. He sent me 3 packs of them, and so I'm going to be utilizing these on my hands to work in conjunction with a CBD salve that I've been using in the Voltaren. Now, that's still as far closed as I can get my hand, and this side's trying to catch up. But alright, furthermore, Miss Zippo, she got me that. It was actually for Christmas, and I hadn't been to the P.O. box in so long. I mean, I went and grabbed these. I knew these were there, but I didn't know this was there. But she picked me up a Zippo Varga Boulevard street sign, which is really cool. I'm gonna find a good, nice, prominent place to put that in the shop. And then Buddy Dave on a pick was cleaning stuff out, and I believe these are magnetic. Yep, magnetic plate. Old 1950, 2055. I could actually register that for the King Midget, but at any rate, I took the worst one. This one's got a decent crease in it, but I believe that's the oldest Indiana plate I have. Then he was also doing some other things, and he picked me up this new Duluth Trading Zippo lighter. Picked me up some bottle openers, some bottle toppers. If you guys remember these, used to pop them on the returnable bottles just to keep your fizz in when you'd put it in the fridge. And one of these old swing away bottle openers, a Floyd Jeffries Sit-Go. It's missing the tip that's usually on. It's usually a translucent piece of acrylic or something like that in the end of it. And then you guys may have already seen this one. It's a jar opener, and I've been using this one in the house to open my pops if I'm downstairs, because my hands just don't like gripping a hold of my pop bottles anymore. What else? Is that it? I think that's it. So now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, Hernando, thank you very, very, very much for the patches. They're going to be put to good use. Ms. Zippo, thank you very much for that plate. And we're going to move the Sovereign back so that we can start yanking that engine out. And I have engine extraction videos up, so you guys really don't need to see that. I'll just show you once I get the engine out, and we'll have much more visible space that I can show you what it is that I'm trying to accomplish here, and the reason why I want to take the engine out. Do I have to? No. But then it's not a job that's well done. It's just a job that's done. And I owe Sean huge props for being as patient as he has been. I know he's frustrated, and believe me, I'm equally frustrated. So we'll be back as soon as I pluck that thing out of there. And literally 20 minutes later, engine is out. So I'm going to wheel it out of the way. I'll show you guys the plan of attack. Alright, now we can see why I wanted to do that. I've got plenty of real estate in here to get in, clean all my surfaces up, and then once I'm done with that, get my piece of plate steel in there, and I can bring it up. This cutout right here, isn't interfering with anything. So that would mean that when I put that extra piece in to make this a little more rigid after these are in, that I could do a couple 1-inch welds along there to bond that piece of 3/16 to this 1/4 inch on either side, and just help reinforce that a little bit. And I can do that to the inside or the outside on this side. On the other side, I can do the same, put it on the inside or the outside, because I've got room right here, so that would reinforce this side as well. And I can run them out far enough that I could actually utilize I can utilize this back hole right here and go ahead and run a bolt through it, but that's not going to be necessary. We're going to weld it and make sure that everything is good and taut in there, and nice good clean welds without having to jockey around the motor, or the engine rather. So I'm going to be running a full bead all the way around the outside and all the way around the inside of this piece. When I weld the extra piece of plate steel in, I will have to grind the weld flush back here and on the other side. Again, taking the engine out makes it much easier for me to get in there with an angle grinder and clean the weld up after I've got it done. Also, I will be putting a decent deep bevel on either side here and here, as well as on this side and on this side. So I've got real good deep penetration on that. There's a joke in there somewhere. Real good deep penetration on the welds, so that these pieces are plenty strong enough. And then that 3/16 sheet steel that's going to go in here is just extra added rigidity and insurance that this frame is going to stay put. And I looked at the back of the frame, and back where the bevel gearbox and all that mounts, I don't see a problem. I was told it could be, so I did some real good close looking at it, and honestly it looks fine. I can't see at all where, let's see if we can get this seat pan open with one hand here. Usually you can, there we go. Okay, you can see we've got even thicker steel here than what we've got on the frame up front, and this is bolted to the transmission itself. The bevel gearbox is what has a hold of the front part of the frame, and then as well as having this cross brace here that comes across and comes up and grabs this, it's plenty strong enough. I don't see where that's going to be an issue. Okay, so where we're at now is I'm going to be cleaning up and prepping these surfaces and getting them ready for weld. I'm not going to weld them up today, but I'm going to get them ready for weld so that when we come back out and pop the camera back on, sorry, I'm wanting to push these bolts through that, so that, there we go. Okay, so that I'm ready to weld. So I'm going to do a bit of grinding right now and get these pieces ready to weld in, and I may even pop the welder out and tack weld those pieces in just so that they're stationary and they're not going to move. Of course, the magnets are going to keep them in place anyway. So there we go, that's where we're at. And considering the age of the machine, it's late 90s, there's not a whole lot of muck in there, so looks pretty good. And it doesn't appear as though the engine has ever been out. Looks like I'm the first one to pop it out of there. So that's another good sign. So Sean bought a good tractor. Let's see, this lever here is not going to be used. The hydro lever's what I'm looking at now. It's not going to be used. At least I don't think so. But we're going to leave that. Yeah, he might, because he does have the rear sleeve hitch on there. So we'll leave that on in case he wants to pick something up with the rear sleeve hitch, he can. Alright. So to recap, we do have the loader mounted, all but the front supports, and that's what we're going to be taking care of with these plates that we're welding. We knew the power steering on this side was going to be an issue, so we had to do a workaround. This is the workaround. I was going to do angle iron. I'm not going to do angle iron. We're just going to do that sheet steel, plate steel. Yeah, we should be good. We should be golden. And then you can see here, this is the clutch and brake pedal bracket. It can just hang out right there. It is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything except just sit right there. And we just removed the brake clutch pedal altogether, and it's sitting right down there in the bucket. So once we get everything welded in, get our reinforcing plates in, get our mounting plates in, I will drill these first. After I do the grinding, I will drill these for the holes for the front supports, and in doing that I'll make sure that these are our tanks that are full of hydraulic fluid. I'll make sure that these are perpendicular. Hey, I got it right that time, perpendicular with the ground. And then drill the holes accordingly, so that when we get everything ready and get it all put together, we put those in. That'll be rigid mount, and the back half of the loader, this part of the loader, won't flex at all, and all the force is going to be on that cross member, which is bolted to the frame, and then on these gussets that I'm making, which again will be bolted to the frame for the front supports. So is that clear as mud? I hope that's clear as mud. Hear the birds chirping. Saw the first robin. What else is going on? Oh yeah. Okay, we're done talking about the Kwik-Way now, so if you guys just wanted a Kwik-Way update, you can go ahead and cut the video off. I appreciate a thumbs up if you want to give it one. Zippo's back out in the shop doing something. Yay. And I'm happy about that too. Maybe the engine has been out, because we've got some marking numbers here. But anyway, this little Harbor Freight was part of a trade that Dave did, or Dave and I did, for the Wheel Horse GT14, and we found out, I thought the engine was seized on that GT14. It wasn't, and it actually had good compression. So those guys got it home, and when they got it home, they got it fired up pretty quick. Got a video on my Facebook Messenger of the 14 horse in it running. So that's half the battle. Well, you know, the engine, and it sounded really good. So if the engine's running, then all they have to do is make sure the hydro is good, and even though it looks butt ugly, I mean, there's not a stitch of paint on the thing anywhere. But anyway, this was part of the trade slash cash deal that we worked out with the gentleman, and he came a good distance for it. So this is a newer one. It was mounted to a tiller, and they got it mounted to the tiller, got a little bit done, then blew the gearbox in the tiller, and they were like, that's it, we're done. Washed their hands of it, and they popped it off. And when Dave and I got this in the shop, when was that? Sunday? Today's Wednesday? Monday. We got it in the shop Monday. I clamped it down to the table, and it fired right up. Ran great. So, got a good donor engine. It's as though I don't have enough donor engines, right? I mean, come on now. It's a 212cc, 6.5 horse, and we have the 5.5 horse. And then I have two other 5 horse that are tiller motors with the dual rotating shafts. The camshaft rotates counterclockwise, and the crankshaft rotates clockwise for tillers that have reverse. And we've got Kawasaki sitting there patiently. We do have to take care of a little fuel issue, but it does run, and it runs pretty decent. And all winter long this thing sat out there, and Jeff said the battery was bad. It's still got battery. It still tries to crank. So I don't think the battery was as bad as he thought it was. But anyway, we got the Kohler Command 20 out, sitting. I have another top I'm going to be putting on this. It's a white Formica top that came off of my old desk, that the rest of it is sitting. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but right at this side of the trailer, see that wood standing up there? That's my old desk. I replaced it with a nicer desk. But anyway, that's where we stand. Thus ends this part of the Kwik-Way Sovereign marriage, and we'll pick it back up when we're ready to get the rest of the welding done, get the pieces of plate steel cut for mounting and strengthening the frame in the front, and then we can stuff the engine back in, work on getting the hydro pump lined up with hydro pump mounted and lined up with the crankshaft here on the Kohler Magnum. And you can see, I'll show you guys here, I'm gonna have to cut it down and keep just the tiniest bit of the keyway, and then drill and tap a couple of spots to put set screws so that this can be adjusted in and out. But let's see here, even though there's a bunch of rust on that, that's the right size for that, and it's the same size as the pulley that was on the was it the 30 or the 7016. Yeah, 7016. So anyway, got a lot of rust to clean off the shaft. The shaft's never been used. Once we get the engine back in, we'll start it up, run it, and I'll take some emery cloth and get that all cleaned up and ready. And if this is tapped, I may go ahead and even put a bolt in with thread lock just to hold that pulley in place so it doesn't want to dance and wander. And then of course I said the other part that we're going to have to do. Hey, we're back on the Kwik-Way, sorry. The other thing we're going to have to do is shorten this, which isn't a problem because it is going to encroach on the pump, which is going to be not very far under the engine mounted to the front frame. And one thing that I may go ahead and do is see about positioning. I can set the engine in and line it up with the holes and take the engine in and out as many times as I need and keep my available workspace open just by lifting the engine up and out of the way so that I can get that bracket figured out and get the pump mounted to it. So that's where we stand, folks. It's your friendly neighborhood Zippo. The videos ought to start coming as weather improves. This one right here is proof that videos are happening now again. And thank all of you. I've gotten so many emails and so much support. I really appreciate it. I've been very silent on YouTube. I've been answering very few questions. I've been in a state. So working on getting out of that state, and hopefully things will get back to normal here soon. Right? Right. All right. Friendly neighborhood Zippo. Let's say goodbye to the Kwik-Way for right now, and we'll get back at it in short order. Later. I'm out of here. Well, I forgot to mention, I'll tuck this in somewhere, when I was talking about things that come in. Mr. Mule sent another goodie bag. Got some clamps. Got some more nuts and bolts here. We've got 2 packs of chainsaw sharpening files. Let's see. This is the small diameter and the large diameter, both. Awesome. There are some hacksaw blades down here. And another bag of bolts. He keeps me well stocked. And I'll tell you, couldn't be happier. We'll walk over here real quick. Most of this stuff that's sitting right here also came from Green Mule. So I appreciate you very much. He's having computer problems and hasn't been able to be very interactive on the comments. So if you guys haven't seen him, that would be why. But Mr. Mule, I thank you. That'd be Green Mule, guys. And I'm toying around with the idea of shooting a couple videos with these and seeing if they're half decent, and if they are, these will be coming up in a giveaway. I'll do a giveaway on these two. One is a fully outfitted 4K, supposed 4K, okay, loosely. This was only like $130 camera. So, and then a bodywork camera, kind of like a police camera. I'll show that to you here real quick. There. He has red and blue lights that flash. It's just kind of neat. It'd be nice to hook onto a bicycle or something like that and use as a dash cam type of situation. So these two may be coming up for giveaways if their quality is half decent. So there we go. That's it. Friendly neighborhood Zippo. Promise you guys, you're going to see me on the next one. Later. I'm out of here.